Yo, there's a new app that might change how you use your flipperzero for car security research. The million-dollar question has always been, can this pocket-sized gadget actually hack a modern car? Now, if you tried a simple relay attack on any car made in the last 2 decades, you were probably disappointed, and the reason being is a security feature called rolling codes. But while your flipper's basic functions hit a brick wall, a free new open source toolkit called ProtoPirate completely flips the script. Well, I'm Jay Blanks, and in this video, we're going to break down ProtoPirate. We'll go over what it is, who's behind it, and how it lets researchers analyze the rolling codes that are supposed to be unbreakable. We'll cover how to install it, how to use it, and why it's pretty much the next evolution for anyone who's serious about automotive security research with their flipperzero. Now, before we go any further, the all-important ethical disclaimer. This is for educational purposes only. Use these tools and techniques only on vehicles you own or have explicit written permission to test. Using them on systems you don't own is illegal and has serious consequences. Plus, messing with key fobs improperly can desync them from your car, which means a trip to the dealership. So be responsible, be ethical, and be smart. Okay, before we deep dive into ProtoPirate, you need to understand the problem it solves. Why can't you just grab your car's key signal with the flipper and play it back to unlock the doors? Now, this is one of my favorite blogs from the Flipper team themselves, and the answer is rolling codes. Think of an old garage door opener with a static code. It's like using password 123 for everything. Every button press sends the same signal. If someone records it, they have your password forever. Now, that's a massive security hole, and car makers knew they had to fix it. And so rolling codes were born. So instead of one password, your key fob and your car share a secret starting number in the same math formula. So the first time you hit unlock, the key does some quick math, sends the code over to the car, and then the car runs the same calculation to make sure it matches. Once it's confirmed, both your key and the car roll to the next number in the sequence. So that old code is now useless and will never be accepted again. This is the wall that makes basic replay attacks with the flipperzero totally obsolete for modern cars. Now, more advanced attacks exist, but they're complex and tricky to execute. So when people ask if a flipper can hack a car, the real answer is it's complicated. For most modern vehicles, using a simple replay attack, it's a hard no. And that's the problem. Let's talk about how researchers are tackling it. Now, this is where ProtoPirate comes in, and let's be clear, ProtoPirate is a vulnerability testing toolkit intended for educational and security purposes. Now, by default, the app has no signal transmission enabled, which prevents users from accidentally desyncing their key fobs, making it safe for non-specialists. It allows users to test their own key fobs against a protocol database, showcasing vulnerabilities and encouraging better security measures. It already has support for major brands like Ford, Kia, Subaru, and Volkswagen. So who's behind this? Well, the ProtoPirate project is made by the Pirates Plunder community with leads from MasterX and Rocket God. Now, it was made as a free open source alternative to a controversial private firmware that was released in mid-2025. And that's where the story really gets interesting. So the creators of the private tool were attempting to sell GPL violating closed source software to a criminal audience for $2,500 plus a yearly subscription. Now, because ProtoPirate offers honestly better functionality for free, it directly threatens their business model, which has led to some drama, including DMCA takedown attempts on the ProtoPirate repository. The GitHub repository has been DMCA'd for about 2.5 weeks now, but as we saw, you can actually go and get the source code from protopirate.net. And if we click on here, the repository, you need to verify with Cloudflare. And here is the source. Okay, now that you know what ProtoPirate is and why it exists, let's get it on your FlipperZero. Now, first off, you can get ProtoPirate in one of two main ways. To me, the easiest method is to install the latest developer release of the Momentum firmware, which has the app included. Now, alternatively, you can clone or download the source from the repository and compile the FAT file. I have a link in the description below. Let's walk through a quick demo of how you'd use ProtoPirate to research your own car key. Okay, first we need to find our key's frequency. Click on enter, go to apps, and then we need to go down to sub-gigahertz, and then scroll down and open the sub-gigahertz app, which is called sub-gigahertz, and then scroll down and click on frequency analyzer. Okay, now hold your key fob close to your FlipperZero and press a button. Now remember that frequency that pops up, we'll need it in a second. Okay, now from here, we're gonna go back and back again. And now we need to go up and open the ProtoPirate app. Now, the first thing you should do is scroll down to configuration and set the frequency to the one you just found. Okay, now with that set, let's go back and go down to the timing tuner. Hit enter. Once you press a button on your key fob, the flipper will pick it up. And you'll see a wealth of live information about the protocol definition, the received signal, and they give you real-time analysis and a conclusion. Okay, now what about saving these captures? For that, go back, go all the way up to receive. And this is where the magic happens. So now what we're going to do is we're going to press the lock button on our car key. After that, click center, and then go right click to save, and that's it. Now, in my testing, it can sometimes take a few button presses for the flipper to capture it correctly in the receive menu, so be patient. Now, we talked about earlier how ProtoPirate has the TX or the transmission turned off by default. But if you want to enable emulation for your own research, you can. You have to clone or download the repository. Now, go ahead and open it in something like VS Code. We need to apply a few edits. First, go to defines.h, and then right at line 6, we're going to uncomment this line, so it just says define emulate feature. You can do the same for the timing tuner if you found it useful. Second, in the application.fam, you need to add sub-gigahertz to the requirements array. And then lastly, you need to increase the stack size from 4 times 1024 to 8 times 1024. And then finally, using UFBT, you can compile and upload the custom app to your flipper. You do that using UFBT launch, make sure QFlipper is closed and that you're not connected to any other serial ports, and then you just click enter and it will ship the app to your device. And now when we go down to save captures, click on something. Now we can left click to emulate, and here we are. So there you have it. ProtoPirate elevates the FlipperZero from a simple repeater to a serious analysis tool for car security. Created by Rocket God Master X in the Pirate Plunderers community, it stands as a powerful, free, and open source alternative to costly closed source tools. We've covered what rolling codes are, the story behind ProtoPirate, how to install it, and how to use it for your own research. But remember, this is an analytical tool first and foremost. Its success will depend on your car model, region, and the specific system it uses. So it isn't a magic key, it's a microscope for looking at complex signals. The real power of the FlipperZero comes from the amazing open source community building tools like this, fighting to keep software open and accessible. It's proof of what happens when curious people have open platforms to learn and tinker with. Okay, so which of these features do you find the most interesting? And are you going to try out ProtoPirate for your own car security research? Definitely let me know in the comments below. And if you find this guide helpful, definitely give it a like and consider subscribing for more flipperzero tutorials or to stay updated about the upcoming Flipper 1. I'm Jay Blanked. Thanks for watching. Peace.